4 stars only is back again, but this time with a brand new banner. As per usual, I didn't even realize there was going to be a new banner until I logged in today. But look at this. Look at our more. Almost 6 million. That is going to disappear so fast. And then I also have a little bit more XP as I've pretty much only farmed a ley line since the last video. But let's just go right ahead and pull. Horizon would be decent. She would allow our Lanyan to do more damage, I guess. Yanfei's all right. I do like her. However, the last thing we need right now is another pyro character to build. And Beto is the character that I want from this banner. If I was able to choose, I would choose Beto. But let's see what the game chooses for us. I also would not be opposed to getting a dupe or a weapon first so I could do more pulls. Last banner rotation, we did one singular pull and that was it. And there's a lot of 4-star weapons that I would not mind having. All right, I think the next one's guaranteed to be purple, which it is. Okay, give me a weapon or a dupe or Beto. That's the one I wanted the least. I like her, but like I'm already using Gaming as a main DPS. We already have Chevers, we have Bennett, we have Zhanling. I just don't need Yanfei. However, in other news, I did get the Auroran from the event. So theoretically, I could run this as one team where Auroran replaces our official and then this as the other team. I want to build an electro-charged team so bad. We have 2 very good electro characters for it. However, as we know, Hydro ain't looking so good. This is all I've got, and it would be okay if Candace could consistently keep her burst up, but Barbara is not going to be doing much in the way of batterying Candace. Is there a world where this team could work? Oh. All right, sure. I think that was the game's way of saying, do not try to build this team. I don't know why, but I just assumed Auroran was kind of like Chevers, where you want to run them in a team with only Electro and Hydro characters. But as far as I could tell, everything in here works even without needing only Hydro and Electro. I don't know that giving up my healer is really a great idea, but technically, I could switch to this. The only issue then is on another team. I mean, like, Sucrose is probably better here because of the EM buffs, but then there's no support. And by no support, I mean there's no sustain because we just got rid of the only shielder. Can Candace battery herself? Her burst is only a 60 energy cost, and if I were to put her on Severed Fates, that's even more energy recharge. This is so... Why do I do this? Why do I do this to myself? I really don't have an answer. No, actually, maybe I do, because I think it'd be fun. Keyword in that sentence is think. So let's test it out on one singular enemy. I'm sure this will go fantastic. Biggest issue right now is just we have no ER on Candace, who's the one that's supposed to be doing our damage. Though to be fair, that's because she does not have a build currently. And also, if we did hypothetically run this team, then Auroran would have more than 5% crit. And since he's apparently not on the Favonius Warbow, but now he is. That'll generate even more particles. And Fischl right now is on Favonius Warbow, but ideally, I would like to get Stringless at some point in time. So let's try this again. We're gonna throw down the burst. Okay, look at it. Huge, huge. Oh boy, the only thing huge about this is the amount of copium. Am I crazy? Or if all of these characters were built properly, I feel like this team could maybe do something. Let's see. Against multiple enemies, how are we doing? I mean, electro-charge does better against multiple enemies. But again, the biggest issue right now is just these characters aren't built. Okay, after quite a while, and I mean like 20, 30 minutes of going back and forth, trying to think of if different teams would work, what would be best to do, blah, blah, blah. I don't know that this is a very smart idea, but I am committing to finding out the hard way. We are going to try to build an electro-charged team with Candace, and I shall find out for myself whether this is a terrible idea. I highly doubt that this team's gonna be able to farm in here, but I kind of wanted to try it anyways. Oh. Couldn't even swap him off the field before he died. Okay, yeah, okay. Let's not farm with this team. Luckily, right now, we do have a double artifact event going on. Sadly, it's only 3 times a day, but it's still extra artifacts. I've got to say, this team does work pretty well. I would test it out with swapping Fischl out for the Auroran just to see how it performs. But obviously, our Auroran kind of dies. So I just remembered we also have Yansan in the back. I'm going to try not to think about it because it'll overload my brain. But hypothetically, if we did use Auroran on this team instead of Fischl, that way we could use Fischl on a different team, whether that be Sethos or Candace. Ideally, we would also put Yansan on this team. And that would be 2 characters on the Scroll of Cinder City set, which obviously does not stack. So in that specific situation, it would be better to put Auroran on something else. But then if I don't put him on the same team, it's better to run Scroll of Cinder City, so I'm just gonna farm this for now. We should worry about getting the first usable set of artifacts on a character instead of worrying about the second or third. And also, I did see your comments informing me that the new plunging attack bonus set that's out in Natlin, this is not actually that great for Gaming. The 2-piece is probably pretty good. However, that would require losing the 4-set bonus of this one, and I don't like the thought of that. I kind of forgot I didn't level this yet. Oh, no, that's right. I was farming ley lines specifically in Sumeru in between episodes so that I could get these drops while getting gold and XP, and I didn't level it so that I could do that during the video. Although I do find it kind of funny that Bennett's weapon was essentially just not leveled at all. So he was missing a lot of energy recharge. Yet that whole time while farming, I didn't have a single problem with energy. The sword is now level 70. I just have to farm a couple more of these. You know what? I'll just go do it. I was just gonna put it off, but that's not gonna help this account. Plus, as we level up Bennett's sword, his base attack obviously increases, meaning our Gaming should be doing even more damage. I also forgot that we were playing with this team last time. At this point, the challenge is not playing Genshin Impact with 4 stars only. The real challenge is playing this game with a really crappy memory and half a brain. But Bennett, you can now have a level 80, well, maybe not level 80. I don't know how much XP stuff I have. You can have a level 71 weapon. Oh, great. I'm so glad I'm out of that again. I'm almost out of ores from how much I'm visiting this blacksmith, and I just cannot get enough XP for weapons. All right, so it is currently a day later, and I've got to say, I still think this is probably a really dumb idea, yet for some reason, I'm still deciding to do it. So just for a moment, let's put aside the idea that this is a terrible team. If we were trying to do a kind of main DPS Candace, I think the white tassel is the best weapon I can give her, because the catch is great for ER, but her burst doesn't really do damage as the burst. It's more of the normal attacks after. Then Dragon's Bane could be okay, but I think just getting free crit rate and an increased normal attack damage is the best. However, I kind of need more refinements for this, and that is going to require a bit of exploring. Before we start that, our resin is currently maxed, and we still do have the double artifact drops. So I'm going to go ahead and farm up some artifact fodder for us, because that's the only thing I'm going to get out of here, though I would be happily proven wrong. I will say, this specific team does not perform nearly as well in this domain. Pretty much everyone is dead. Okay, it's a Kaya solo, and I just remembered that I've yet to level up his new weapon. There goes Kaya. Yeah, this team just is way better in here. Well, I hate to say it, but I was right. All those artifacts kinda sucked. Can I get a 4-set on this guy that isn't the most copium thing in the world? This would be our best bet for the flower. Then, I mean, I guess I could use a 4-star piece, or I do just go with the only other 5-star. I really don't want defense percent, but that's all it gave me for sands. Goblets, I guess I'm probably just gonna do attack percent, and then circlet, we can do attack percent. I am still a bit conflicted when it comes to Candace, because I initially said I was gonna go Severed Fates, and I still think it's an okay idea, but again, the 4-piece set doesn't really do too much for us. So while we would have less energy recharge, it might be better to just go Heart of Depth. Though to be fair, I don't have that much fodder anyways. This is all I can craft. The levels of copium today are dangerous. Oh, double crit. Oh, I can't wait to see how poorly that rolls, if I can even afford to roll it. Now, what I will say is I did some research into a DPS Candace sort of build, and it seems like even though she scales with HP for her skill and burst, you actually still want to invest more into attack. So if you see me put an attack sands on her, don't freak out. Oh, I like it. Even if the last roll doesn't go into crit damage, this is still decent for this account. Good. Okay, the 2 rolls in the flat attack really sucks. If it was 2 in the HP percent, that'd be good, because again, we do have some scaling with HP percent, and flat attack is pretty much useless on anyone. Ooh, oh yeah, I forgot we need energy recharge. So that's very useful for us. Yeah, this piece is fine. I will say the rolls were low in the range of what they could have been, but it's still good, and we dodged the flat stat. So now I'm completely out of artifact fodder already. Oh, actually, I was just going around farming some of the Fatui agents. While I do this, I should probably start opening every exquisite chest or higher that I come across, because like I mentioned earlier, I would love to get some white tassel refinements, and this is the only way to do so. Ironically, the last video on Geo only was us going around opening up so many chests, and now I kinda have to do it again. I'm surprised I've even gotten 2 copies of it, considering how few chests I've actually gone and opened. So let's hope that today I can at least find 1 more. I mean, this is a big chest, right? Surely the game wanted to shove a white tassel in here. we got a messenger. That's my first one. Okay, well, I'm not refining it, but I'm keeping it. I do wonder if the larger chests have a higher chance of dropping white tassels or just weapons in general. Or perhaps since they drop more loot, there's just a higher chance of getting one because there's more options. I mean, I don't know. It's not like I play this game for a living. Oh, wait. Well, let's see if we get a weapon out of this one. We do. That's interesting. And it's our first one. It's crazy how many large chests they used to put in the same spot back in the day. So, is this another weapon? Oh, no, it's a nameless treasure. Another halberd? Oh, you know what's really valuable out of all these chests? The weapon XP. So not that I want it to take forever to find the white tassels, but I wouldn't mind opening up some extra chests so that I get some free goodies. Oh, white tassel. Maybe I just got really lucky, but that wasn't bad at all. Of course, there's still 2 more that we need, which I'm sure I'm gonna find super fast. Oh, fillet blade is now max refined. Will I ever use the weapon? Probably not, but I have it. And that's more than someone that doesn't have it can say. Unless they're lying and then they can say it. You know what's funny is we've only gotten 1 Geo character so far, but luckily for us, it's one that allows us to do this. Oh, right, there's a second one. That's okay. For some reason, Guoba works for this. I take it back. Guoba does not work for this. I swore it used to. Oh, but that does work. Okay, so put that there. Run over here. Line this. Oh, that might have been too far. Put that there. Run over here. Stand on this. And then unlocks and activates. I'm a genius. Okay, this has got to give us some good stuff. 2 white tassels incoming. Here is the first one. Like I said, I don't know why I sounded so surprised there. Obviously, I knew it was coming. This one's not gonna have one, but that's completely fine. It has another fillet blade instead. But this one will have our last white. Okay, that would have been really cool if it did, though. I really don't need the first fillet blade, so I definitely don't need a second. But because you can't get more of these once you open all the chests, I'm just gonna lock it. And then we shall refine our white tassel again. Only 1 more to go. Oh, I'll go do that. I was wondering how long I could sprint on water, especially outside of Natlin. That was not very far. All right, Amber, I have a very important job for you. Actually, since we got Yanfei, let's let her do something. There's 1, there's 2, and there is 3. Oh, I forgot there's not a chest here. Or is maybe when I stand on this, chest is gonna appear now. Okay, it doesn't. I could do this, and I probably should. Oh, there's 2 of them I could do. Fun fact, I don't think I've done almost any of those anywhere. I'll think about it. I'm not gonna lie, this kind of makes me miss playing with Yanfei, because we did do it a little bit on spells only. But like I said earlier, I have way too many pyro characters already. All right, new idea. We go into those domains that give us the keys, and then we open up the Shrines of Depth because they are very large chests. Wait, they just fall over. They're level 45. Ah, that is unfortunate for them. Is there any chance that this could give me one of the weapons as well? It probably could. On to the next one. Oh, this is easy. This is so free. Just like this white tassel that's not in here. Thank goodness. When we had 4 of them, I was so ready to say, you know, this wasn't even that bad. You know, assuming I got the 5th one. But then it took over 3 hours to get the last one. I mean, look at this. The messenger is R4. Skyrider Greatsword, I R5'd one and R4'd another. I also have an R5 halberd plus an R2 halberd, an R5 fillet blade, R4 fillet blade. Needless to say, that was very unlucky. If I wasn't committed to this before, I am definitely committed now. So it is time to farm the ascension materials for the white tassel. So there is the 4th ascension. We can level it up because we have a little bit of weapon XP now, and we'll bring it up to the 5th ascension and just barely get it to level 80. After a bit of farming, it seems like I will be able to max ascend the white tassel. I just definitely cannot max level it. So what I'm gonna do is bring it to level 81. So at a glance, I know it's max ascended. Then I'm just gonna go and try to beat this guy a couple times. Ah, yes, our 2 juicy drops. We're over halfway to AR 55, so so hopefully soon we can get the world level increased again and not have to get 2 drops every single time. And I know technically it's not every single time, but you have to remember all my accounts have a permanent debuff called My Luck, so it basically is always 2. That is all the resin that I have for the time being. So now it's off to go collect some cactus flower. And now Candace can go up to level 70, also unlocking her second passive talent. Now, obviously, we're going to also want to build up Auroron, not just for this team specifically, but for really any team. There are quite a few places that we can use them. And so just for right now, I guess I'll put you on this one, even though it's not that much higher leveled. And because apparently I can, I will ascend it. Level it up to 50. And yeah, we'll ascend it again. Definitely cannot level it. So there you go. Level 51. Without a doubt, this team is going to be quite rough right now in terms of performance. And it also does better against multiple enemies since, you know, electro-charged. So I'm not sure where I should test it. I also feel like testing it in the rain is kind of cheating. But look at this. If I can beat these Hilichurls, it proves that this is a fantastic team. That is so true. Look at that. We destroyed them. And then that guy gets knocked off of there and he's dead. Just out of curiosity, if I crit with her skill, how much are we hitting for? I don't even know if I should put that in the video. In my defense, her talents are still level 1. Can I fix that at all? I have a little bit, but I don't think that this talent priority actually applies for what we're trying to do. With the team we're putting her on and her role in that team, it would actually be her normal attacks that we'd want most, which I could level up one whole time without crafting, so that's a lot. Let's move on to a boss. Granted, one of the easiest bosses in the game, but how well do we perform here? We'll do that. We'll swirl it. Nice. I'm just gonna wait to do that again. Oh, this shield, and then boom, we'll swirl that again. And one more shield should break his shield. Put down that. We'll put up this. We'll do this, and look, talents are in a rough spot right now. Oh, but everyone gets their burst back pretty fast, except for Candace, who's close but not quite there. So we'll need a little more ER on her. Oh, my bad. Auroron cannot get hit a single time or he dies. It wasn't so smooth, but the concept is there, and I just really want to use an electro-charged team. Ooh, once we ascend Auroron to whatever point that we get this, when a nearby active character hits an opponent with normal charged or plunging attack, which Candace will be doing, that character will restore energy. That'll help us even more with getting back Candace's burst, and she's only at 120 ER, so that's definitely going to go up, because we only have 2 pieces that we like and 3 pieces that are basically not even leveled. This could work. This could work. I think. You know what probably won't work though? Attempting to fight this boss for the first time using this team. I mean, it will be fine. We just need to not get hit, which is really easy. I'm also reluctant to use any of my bursts because I know this dude does some transformation thing into like a little version of himself, and I don't want to waste all of my bursts. Oh, you do so much damage to me. All right, that's it. Bursts. Huge damage. Oh, and that's why I didn't want to do that. Wow, he does so much. The bad thing is, even my built characters are all like Pyro and Electro, so they're not gonna be great in here. I will attempt Gumming Overload. Don't really expect it to go so well. Okay, the dude transform, we did get him below half health. Now, for this part, do I just like run until he comes back down? Because that kind of feels like the only option. All right, it's not a very fun fight for us, but at the very least, it seems possible. Yeah, okay. Here you go, Auroron. Now you'll definitely live in that fight. It is obviously sarcasm. I am not going to waste my time by bringing him here again. I almost took it down before it did this. Other than taking out its shield, is there some way to get this thing out of the sky? Because there is no 4-star Hydro Archer, so I imagine that might be a little difficult if that's the only way to do it. Okay, Auroron, here's yet another ascension for you. I can bring you up to level 60, but I'm kind of running out of character XP. You guys want to see something that's kind of painful? Look at this 82 Acquaint Fates. I could just get a 5-star right now. If this was any other account, that would be exciting. Well, maybe not Geo only, because there's no Geo 5-stars on there. Allow me to just say this. I'm sure some of you are going to want to go down into the comment section and say, this team is a not this team, but the Candace team is a terrible idea. And then another person will say, the white tassel, worst weapon you could possibly put on her. But hear me out, all right? Even if you fully believe that to be the truth, do me a favor and don't say it. Instead, go down and write, this is the best team team idea ever. That is the best weapon you could have possibly put on her. Because after spending so many hours looking for those stupid white tassels, I don't think my heart could take people saying that it's a terrible idea. I'm already aware it's a very wacky team. I mean, if you really want, I could just only run national team and that'd be really boring, I think. But if you've been around the channel for a while, you already know that I like to make dumb decisions. So it's gonna be a bit before we have that team fully up and running, or at least up to a point where I can use it. But for now, I am going to keep working towards it. So once again, in between videos, I'll probably just focus on ley lines only. That way, when I record on here, I can actually make progress. So hopefully it won't take us too long to answer the age-old question, can this team actually work? With that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. And as always, I shall see you all next time.